Hi friends, it's Udhaya from Backyard Garden Highlights. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today I'm planning to share it with you guys how my backyard garden looks in August month, and please join with me for the virtual garden tour and also learn from my experience. This bed, all my onions are harvested, and here is my Asian vegetable plant which looks great and seems to be something they don't like eating it. And another thing is, look at this plant. So this plant actually I think naturally comes with wax, so the water doesn't really stick on it. So when I water it, it stays in the leaf like this. And look at this, how beautifully they move around. It's fun to really watch putting some water and playing with this leaf. And then I have all this beautiful yellow color flowers, black tie Susan or Rubeckia, and this plant seems to be partially deer repellent. These flowers are not being eaten by deer, so they look really gorgeous, but the leaves are being eaten. So probably next year I'm thinking to replant these plants. These are all perennials, so next year this location they should come out. But if they don't come out, I will be planting these plants, but I may have to protect them until they start flowering, because the plants are not deer proof, but the flowers are deer proof. And another happy thing that I want to share it with you guys is Bachelor buttons are 100% deer proof. They did not like the plant as well as the flowers. So even though they are tiny, this is going to be really wonderful border planting. I really like Bachelor button. The primary reason is it's a bunch of flowers and they are very tiny and cute, and different beautiful color collections, and of course deer proof. What else I need from the garden, right? Look at this, the purple shade. And I have actually planted Coleus, and they are kind of establishing, and the Pansies are also surviving with all these heat waves. And some of the sage plant is still growing, they did not start blooming, but some started flowering, like this one, they started flowering. And look at this Bachelor button collection. It's amazing, beautiful color collection. I really love this blue, pink, purple, white, wonderful colors. This is another sad part that I want to share it with you guys. It put me really down and I was unable to really sleep for a couple of days. Of course, it's not end of the world, but it means a lot of loss to me. All my vegetables, sorry, my battery went down where I left. Yeah, so this entire bed I had a lot of the red beans and pole beans, string beans. Everything was completely eaten the day before we went on a vacation. So we couldn't react much. We just put on some wire mesh, like you can see. So only plants that was left untouched was the chili plant. So you can see a lot of chilies I have left it for seed. We use dry chilies also, so I left it. But whenever I'm using, whenever I need for my kitchen need, I'm just coming and taking them out. So I'm not really harvesting them on a regular basis. So I'm using them as and when I need it. So let me show you how the plant looks after taking this wire mesh. Look at this, guys. Isn't it awesome to see your own vegetable? And they are not looking too spicy, so we are eating them in salad also. So I use one for the salad for 4 people. But I'm really loving this plant. we have fruits all over. Only thing is, because I put on wire mesh, they are like kind of a flopping. Look at this. So a lot of fruits, and I'm glad that deer did not like eating the spice food, otherwise this plant would have also gone by then. Anyway, and they are still producing a lot of blooms. So my plan is to cut them and move them indoor with a couple of leaves left so that I can transplant them next year. Again, some of the gardeners said it worked out well for them. So I'm going to try doing that one for this year. So I have a mature plant to transplant. And this is my blah blah beans. The interesting fact about this plant is whatever time of the year I plant, even I planted early spring, they don't grow much. I think they need a lot of heat to really grow well. So now they look this much big stem, and this is just one plant, and look at this, how much leaf growth they have put upon. This entire trellis has been covered with that one plant. Oh no, right, you know what, I have one more plant, I think this side. Yeah, so that's the another plant, but it's not getting enough sun, so it's not putting that much growth. But yeah, maybe technically this is two plants and they are covering the entire trellis. Last year I planted them in July and they started growing, and I got the flowers around September end, and I couldn't really enjoy any of the fruits from this plant. I thought this year they will produce nice fruits yearly, but it's almost end of August and I'm still not seeing any flower at all. So the flowering and then getting the fruit matured, I don't know whether it will be still possible for this year, but I think maybe this plant is not suitable for this gardening zone 6B. But otherwise, I really love how they climb this trellis and fill it up, and they look really awesome from the distance, and they really make this garden look beautifully with all green leaves. Anyways, and then I have columbine, and that started giving some new growth. And then I have petunia, which is not really doing great. But look at this, guys. It's midsummer and it's peak summer, and you have a lot of heat waves and dry spells. But still, these pansies are thriving in this location. Maybe they are all planted in between a plant, so they get good amount of shade for them. I don't know, but I think I'm really thankful for all these volunteers this year. Okay, now let's look at this raised bed. And this plant is Coleus, and deer ate, and they just started putting up new growth. And this flowering bed also, at least I think the day one when they ate all the vegetarian plants, I don't know whether they did not have enough space in their stomach, so they left these snapdragons and stalk, or they did not like it, so they left these flowering plants, so they were really untouched. And I have planted all these celosia plants, like bright red color and then light orange, so they really come out really more beautiful than what I expected. So I'm really glad that I was able to transplant these plants. Of course, all these plants are volunteer plants. They got somewhere in my garden, my last year's seeds. So I thought, why don't I transplant them and keep them in a place where they look really nice. So they're definitely justicing the decision. So let me show you guys. Look at this. They are really getting ready for my fall display. I'm really happy. Look at this. They look really vibrant. I'm so in love with Celosia plants. The way their leaf colors and the contrasting blooms and the spiky flower structure, every aspect of this plant I really love it. And they self-seed a lot and they really make your life easy if you want to perennialize them in a specific location. Isn't this awesome, guys? I really love how these bloom colors, and especially they started growing, all these seeds started growing late spring, so they are coming out perfectly for the fall display. Isn't it awesome? Anyway, so I think we have maybe 4 to 6 plants here. Everything looks great, and I have covered them with wire mesh so they are not really getting damaged by bees. And this snapdragon is poking out of the wire mesh. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I made a decision to transplant these volunteer plants. And really, look at these snapdragons. Like, I know they are looking tired, but isn't it awesome to really see these cool flowers still show some nice colors in the garden in a dry spell, especially with a lot of heat waves, and like we got 90s and 100s many days in the last couple of weeks and with no rain. So I really didn't expect these to really give some colors in my garden, but I think I'm again thankful to these flowers too. They are really keeping me very happy. Like, a lot of different colors I had, and they are producing, even though they are producing smaller clumps, they are still producing a nice fresh flowers. I really feel so good about keeping these snapdragons in my garden. Very reliable and very productive, and at least in this location I did not really see any pest or any insects damage to the flowers. Last year in that raised bed garden I had some insect damage to snapdragon, but touch wood, thankfully in this raised bed so far I did not have any problem for snapdragons and stalk flowers. The stalk flower variety that I had it's a single stalk, so they don't bloom multiple stalks, so they are, once they are done with their single bloom, they are done. But snapdragons are producing new stalks every frequently, and even though they are not too huge spike, even with these smaller spikes, I think they are producing good amount of blooms every weeks. And seeing snapdragon throughout the summer, that's really awesome, because I know they are cool crop and they do better in the in the cool season. I'm not sure whether they are going to be tired by fall and they don't produce any flower, or they will come back. Let's see. But I think for this year they have done really fabulous job in my garden. I can show you how the dahlias are doing. This is how the dahlias are looking now. I had some beetle damage last time, and now every now and then I'm coming and squeezing the beetle so they don't really damage the plant, and I think they are in control now. I am able to really save these flowers look beautifully in the garden. It was really challenging time for me in July with vacation and dry spell and all this beetle damage in the garden. I was really very much down, but thankfully I am able to resolve that issue and able to enjoy these beautiful blooms. Look at this, guys. Isn't it awesome to look so many dahlias? And these are all I have grown from seeds, and like they are really, if you see the plant, I have planted maybe 4 to 6 plants with a very short distance between each plant, but even then they are performing their best, and all the pollinators are enjoying my garden, so which I am really happy about it. When I look at all these blooms, I really feel that I am in a heaven. They look really gorgeous. And look at this bumblebee. It's enjoying. Let me show you the other side of this raised bed. That is a Cosmo plant, and I had, I think, 3. Look at this. They've grown like more than 5 feet tall and did not produce any single bloom. So I removed 2 plants and I just left 1 to see if they even produce anything. Maybe in the upcoming weeks I may remove them. Now all these green leaves that you are seeing, the vines, this is the sweet potato. I just left as is, and these are enjoying them as and when they come out of the mess, but I think it's okay because I have a lot of leaves. And another thing I want to show you guys is this Coleus. Yes guys, I don't want to really kill any of the volunteers when they look really cute and beautiful, so why should I really remove them, right? So this Coleus plant also volunteered, and it is actually begonia pot, and this begonia pot was I kept it in the lower end, and deer ate everything, so the blooms and the plant was completely done, and all this is new growth in the last couple of weeks. So can you imagine? So this plant is really survived after the deer damage, and meantime this Coleus I left it grow so they can fill up this container. I'm really loving it. And I had petunia in these 2 containers, and I couldn't really water them. They like 2 weeks of vacation, but I think they survived. This one survived and this one dead. I have to remove replant here another petunia, but I think this is really awesome. And look at this beautiful volunteer as well. I don't know, how do you guys feel? I feel so grateful for these volunteers because look at this leaf structure itself, right? It comes with bright pink and different colors, and the plant itself is a bloom for me actually. See, look at this petunia and look at this. Aren't they doing the same purpose, giving some colors to the garden? So I don't really mind keeping them, even though this pot was meant for this begonia. Oh, amazing. Look at this. This plant was also eaten completely by deer, and they started producing a new bloom. That's awesome. Amazing. I wish I had this begonia filled here and the blooms covering this entire part, but I think that's still in my dream only, hoping that at least next year it comes true. Anyway, and this is my, I think, 2nd year or 3rd year these glads are blooming here. Only thing is, yeah, they are also being damaged very much with the deer. So all the flower stalks you can see, these are damaged by deer. So I really got upset, guys, to be honest. So last 2 weeks I wasn't really able to come out of the shock. It was really very frustrating to see your vegetables and flowers are damaged completely. The next morning you wake up, right? So look at this beautiful, and I think it's almost done, so that's why they look like tired. Hummingbirds are enjoying. I just left it as is. And this time I think I left with only couple of zinnias, but I really missed keeping lot of zinnias. I had lot of zinnias last year, which I think I missed this year. The plan is next year I'm going to really plant so many zinnias in my garden so I could enjoy lot of cut flowers in my flower vase arrangement and share it with my friends and neighbors and use for dry flower. And of course I had lot of butterflies and hummingbirds last time. This year also they are visiting, but I think it's always good to have the zinnias in a mass quantity than like single here and there. Anyway, now you can imagine why I said zinnias looks really good when they are planted in mass. Look at this, guys. My flower bed is ready for fall display. Isn't it amazing, right? Lot of butterflies comes to these flowers, and I have seen the hummingbirds coming and enjoying. So this is definitely one of the best volunteer plant in this raised bed garden this year. I did not plant this plant. You can see I have just planted all the Celosia plant. I wanted to create the similar effect of the other bed where you saw the Celosias in the front. So I thought I will use the same pattern here. So I planted all Celosia plants and they are really doing great. Look at this. All these Celosia plants are amazingly popping up with a nice bright leaf and the wonderful color. Another Coleus volunteer plant. I don't know, maybe Coleus seeds spread in air also, because I don't know how they come here. Anyway, and then I have planted a lot of glads, and I think one started producing a flower stalk. But look at this, all zinnia flowers. They are really a decoration to the garden. Very sturdy flower, and they last longer in the garden as a display, and they last longer in the flower vase. And they are like very low maintenance plant and very low pest infestation. Only drawback that I have seen with the zinnias are, I think usually in NJ in August it rains a lot and it comes every day morning. Most of the time we feel it's a foggy day, so during that time it start getting the fungal infection. But this time it's still dry spell, so I think not much fungal infection and they look really fresh, and the flowers are really amazing. Look at this. Look at this beautiful display of colors. After zinnia, I think I started loving this Coleus and Celosia, because they are not getting much damage from the pest like any insects, and their blooms are really attractive to pollinators. Okay, now let's move on to the next raised bed. And ta-da! I have actually harvested a lot of tomatoes already. I made 2 batches of tomato spicy ketchup and 2 batches of Indian spicy tomato sauce. And this is, I thought, Asgard. I don't really recall which seed I planted. I just got a seed from a grocery shop from one of the vegetable, and then I planted and it came out, and they are looking so good. One I have harvested and other 2 I'm just keeping here. So usually once the vines are actually dried out. I think they are ready for harvest. So I harvested one. I'm going to check how it looks, and then I'm planning to harvest this one and the other one. Let me show you guys how this sunny raised bed garden looks. Blazing Star, and they really invited a lot of garden friends, and I heard petunias looking really beautiful here, but the deer is started visiting my garden every day now, so all the plants are being sacrificed. But I think I'm glad that these dianthus are not really favorite for deer, so they are really doing well here. All the dianthus are looking really amazing. And this is a weed plant, and I was exploring about this plant. This blooms very late in the fall and provides food for the pollinators. So I thought anyway they already grown up to this much, so I just left it as it. I thought end of this season I'll remove them. And this is how the remaining rice bed looks. A lot of yarrow plants I have removed. Coleus, sage, and that's the cinnamon basil. They are really looking gorgeous here, and the pollinators are loving this space here. It's really amazing to watch and stand here because the cinnamon basil it smells so good. And look at this contrasting color Coleus. I really love. And look at this bumblebees. Everywhere bumblebees, honeybees. And this is how my pot looks. The pansies are dead now. I think that was my wrong decision to move them when the weather warms up, and I did not really plant anything else. And this is how my dahlias are looking now. Thankfully these 3 dahlias are coming out really great. I was squeezing all the Japanese beetle damaging the flower buds. Now I think the population of beetles are reduced, and I'm able to really see beautiful flowers. And this empty space supposed to be like this, but unfortunately these 2 plants were fully covered with these yarrow bushes, so they did not have enough sun and water, so they did not really bloom anything. So let me go inside and show you guys. And another sad part here guys, all this were really giving nice sturdy stalk, and the next day morning, boom, everything was eaten by deer, and I did not really enjoy. I think maybe 1 or 2 blooms I saw them early in June, when at the time deer was not really trespassing my garden, and starting I think July onwards, the entire July, I think early July onwards, they started coming inside this. So they jump from here, that's why you see this wire mesh is little bit tweaked. So they jump from here and then eat all the plants, and then they also use the other side, they jump in. Anyway, let me go inside and show you guys how this looks. And the echinaceas are done blooming, but look at this, even after blooming, I think it's more than maybe 4 weeks now, they still look beautiful to me. Like I know like the petals are now dried, but all this flower head, right, they look sturdy, and the bees still, I don't know, they come and sit. It's amazing, and butterflies also come and sit. So I really enjoy having echinacea in the garden. This garden wonder dahlia, this is also I think during the dry spell got impacted and did not really grow because these yarrows were covered up with this entire space. If you guys watch my previous video, you'll see. And now I have removed all the yarrow plants stalks. Now they started producing some blooms, although they are little bit tired, and I'm hoping that at least next couple of weeks they will produce some beautiful blooms. And this is how the dahlia batch is looking now. And all the 3 are dinner plate dahlias, and this purple one It's just, I think, bouncing back. Oh my goodness, look at the huge dinner plate Dahlia. I'm just showing my hand for your friends. It's kind of a size of a face, human face. Look at this delicate and soft yellow color. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Alright guys, hope you guys liked watching this video. I'll see you in another video. Please support my channel by subscribing, commenting and sharing it with your friends.